What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live, where we try to help you through the issues that you were dealing with by telling you how other people have dealt with their issues and giving you ideas on how you can also deal with issues. So, I ask you guys if you would please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Share it with all kinds of friends and like Lotus Roche says, frenemies as well. I like that word, frenemies. So, guys, but please don't forget to give us likes, give us hearts, give us frowny faces, give us cry faces. Just give us something to help us trick the algorithm on Facebook. And with no further ado, I would like to introduce James.
Thank you
Hi,
for having me,
James.
Jeff.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, while you go through your short introduction here, I'm going to be inviting some people on my phone.
Sounds good.
All right, cool.
Well, my name is James Griffin. I'm located right now in Kansas City, Missouri, and I'm a empowerment coach, a Reiki practitioner, and a transformational speaker. And what I do and what I love to do is help people connect to their own power that allows them to really express themselves and live in a greater freedom of expression of who they really are and what their medicine is, what they came here to bring, because we each have our own unique flavor. We each have something that only we can do the best. And that's something that I want to help people connect with.
All right, so I another question here. I know this wasn't in the questions I sent you, but how do you figure out what you're best at? I mean, you were talking about being best at something. How can
Mm.
somebody know what they're best at?
Well, really is it requires an exploration of just who you are, like what are you naturally good at, right? What are your natural affinities? I know a lot of people, they have things that come natural to them, but it may not fit into the mold of what makes money or what brings success and in that realm, but it brings them fulfillment. So it's really about being honest with yourself and trusting that by listening to those whisperings and listening to what is already coming up in your life and being brave enough to trust that that will lead you to fulfillment, which will lead you to success that can kind of get you to finding that flavor.
That is fantastic. I thank you so much. I know that wasn't one of the planned questions or anything, and I want to say that you did fantastic answering that. So we want to talk a little bit tonight about, you said you were a serial people pleaser, right?
Yeah, I said I'm recovering from being a professional people pleaser.
Oh, a professional people pleaser. Professional people pleaser. That's hard to say, but oh well, I'm
Yeah,
getting
it's a
there.
tongue twister, isn't it?
Yeah. So I want to say hi to Danielle, to Mr. Darner. I want to say hi to Izzy, hi to my dad, and hi to Ben Bruce Chris Jr. And he is from Nigeria, Africa. So this is an international show. So it's pretty darn cool. So, all right, we'll go ahead and get into what is a professional people pleaser, and how why do you feel that you were one of those?
Really, it stems from me putting
to
the
say hi
thoughts,
to Danielle.
feelings, and emotions, or just the ideas of other people before my own, and really just kind of like using that to buy or have them guide me into the person that they think I should be, rather than me just being a person that I am in that moment. So it comes from, or from my own introspection, it came from my wanting to be accepted, my wanting to be loved and appreciated. So I will, it was like tick for tack, right? I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm buying people's affections, buying people's love with, money or time or effort or deeds, or just aligning with their own belief systems, um, at, at my own, I say, integrity. So even if it compromised my own integrity, I would still do what other people wanted me to do, because I wanted their affection, I wanted their approval. Um, that's basically how I realized I've been living my life.
Yeah. I think a lot of people live like that, just doing things for other people and thinking that they're doing it for themselves. I think that a lot of people just end up doing things for other people that don't really serve them. And
Exactly.
so when you were in this mode of people pleasing all the time, how what was that making you feel like?
Mm, there's like highs and lows, right? So it's like when everything is going well and you're doing the best, like it leads to trying to be perfect, right? So that's what it leads to. Like if I can do everything perfectly according to what they expect from me, then that means that I am loved, that they will give me their love, right? But that only happens, is that's only conditional. So when you fall out of alignment with another person's assumptions or expectations of how you should behave, then now naturally they withhold that love unconsciously, and now it brings you to a low, because you become dependent on that person's ability to approve of you.
So it's the dependency on that other person's approval is what gets you addicted, correct?
Right, it is. It's like dopamine, right? You want to do everything and everything to make somebody else happy, even if it means that it's not honoring who you are. It's not honoring your own emotional nature, your own mental nature, your own physical body.
That is fantastic, and I thank you so much for being your authentic self now and helping other people get from where they are to where they want to be. And I appreciate you for everything you do. So I want to say here that Ben Bruce Chris Jr. says, "Hey James, it's a real pleasure having you on the show tonight." And then Izzy says, "Hi guys, happy Tuesday." And then Izzy also said that I'm so proud of you, James, for breaking those chains. So were those actual? Did they feel like chains, like something holding you down, or?
Exactly. Really, it's like what other people, and it's like mostly it's unconscious. It's like there's applied or implied assumptions, or like unconscious permission slips that we give other people. That it's like, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. So and that works until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, and you're still figuring out why am I still feeling like there's something missing, and it's really like those contracts are really can be corresponded to chains holding you down and kind of keeping you in the box, to keep somebody else comfortable, even if that means that you are uncomfortable in the process. It's a paradox.
Yeah, that is so true. I see how that would be harmful to your own self. And it's not good to harm your own self because that's a negative thing in life.
Right.
So I have to ask James, how exactly did you get past this? Did you deal with these things?
I mean, initially, I had to pull myself back from just society in general, and really just get honest with myself. And I had to set a goal, and the goal wasn't anything external; it was more internal. And it started with breaking the chains, like freedom, right? Wanting to be free from emotional manipulation, wanting to be free from, just financially free as well. But at the same time, it was like my intention was to become the best version of myself, right? So, and that was the first step, was that kept me on course, right? That was my north star. So by doing that, I was able to start my path and start my journey. And it really was and has been and will continue to be a very uh I would say just eventful path for me, a path where I've learned a lot, but that was the first step. First step was to set a goal and intention.
So Izzy here said, "How, James? People need to know." So we thank you guys so much for the comments, and please keep them coming. Make sure if you're feeling this episode or you're enjoying, hit that like button. Just keep hitting it. Help us trick the algorithm on Facebook. But we're here with James tonight, and he is teaching us how he went from a professional people pleaser. I said it right that time. A professional people pleaser to living his authentic life. So I have to ask now, because I was actually talking to my dad about this show tonight and what we were going to be talking about. And he said, well, I told him that James is going to be telling us how we can live an authentic life and how he lives an authentic life. And my dad asked me, so you're telling me I'm not living an authentic life? So can, can you explain authentic life? Because a lot of people don't get it, including me.
I would say there's levels to authenticity. It's basically, we're all living a real life, but it's like who is really leading and I guess just guiding that pathway for you. Is it see for authenticity, it's really living from your heart and understanding at a deep basis who you really are and being brave enough to take that leap authentic expression. And for everybody it looks different. I mean, for me, it's just helping people connect to their own power, helping people step into greater freedom in their lives, helping people overcome the fear that's been limiting them in their own reality, in their own lives. But authentic expression looks different for everybody. But it's up to the person to want to set that intention and realize that maybe I don't know everything. Maybe there's something more that I can explore. Maybe something 20 years ago that made my heart sing, that I put down because somebody said that that's not going to make you money. But really, that was something that was really, deep and true to who I was. And it's like as kids, we are naturally embodying our heartfelt expression. But as we get older, it's like we have to align with society. And even if that means that we have to put away certain things that really brought us joy, And over time, it's like that can lead to resentment and bitterness and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I just said there's levels to it, and just find your level, and then go from there.
Yeah. Well, I want to point out here that Izzy said in the comments that authentic life equals living someone's ultimate purpose. So, purpose is a big thing in
Exactly.
authenticity, right?
Exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
cool. And then Chris said there are levels to authenticity. This really hits home. And I really appreciate your guys' comments so much. And so now we have to get back to one of Izzy's earlier comments. And she says, how can people move on from being the professional people pleaser to living their authentic life?
Right. How to move on. First, going back to um the first step is having that intention to move on. Realizing that people who are ready to change will change. It's just a lot of people don't know how to change. And it's just like anything brand new, a skill that you learn for the first time. Is sometimes you need somebody, a teacher or an instructor, to help you along the ways. And if you don't, you might be insecure for a bit, but you know that you need to make a change. So intending to make a change is the first step. Intending to understand that you may not know how that change might manifest in your life, but you know how you want to feel, you know how you want to be. So that can be again, the North Star that can guide you. And then what I practice as that change is manifesting is to practice gratitude. Now, gratitude in itself is a practice of, really, for me, has been a practice of self-love. Gratitude has been the window that has allowed love and joy and just forgiveness to enter my life. And that has basically opened me up to see my life in a whole new perspective. The gratitude in itself basically was a practice that helped me love myself more, because the whole exploration of who you are is like, it allows you to dig deeper into your own beingness, and then from there you can find hidden gems that's been locked away. um and by finding those hidden gems, you're able to realize that, okay, this is something that's been a part of me. I just kind of been it's kind of been hidden from me. So gratitude allows you to see the good, of course, but also allows you to see the bad, that's quote unquote bad in your life, in a different light. You can pour love, you can pour forgiveness, you can pour whatever that you need to pour into the bad, which lights it up, and really it shifts you from really being a victim of your circumstances to really overcoming that. And that has allowed me to really be at peace and accept where I'm at currently in my life, who I am currently, understanding my life lessons that I have been through already. And at the same time, it has allowed me to let go. So that's the third step, is letting go of beliefs that no longer serve you, letting go of expectations, letting go of fears, letting go of biases, letting go of what you think you should do, and all these things that really served you at one point of time in your life. But right now, if you're choosing to change, it requires a whole new skin. It requires you to shed what no longer serves.
Yeah. That is really deep. Now, I don't I those 3 points are amazing, but can you just give the name of those 3 points again? So make sure that people got them.
All right. Point one is you want to change. So set the intention, set the goal for change, whether that is to become a better version of yourself, whether that is to I intend for greater truth and clarity. These attributes are always going to be at your disposal when you need it versus intending for something external that may take time for you to get. Second thing is practice gratitude. And, we heard of, gratitude and all that, but gratitude in itself is so powerful. It's so powerful because it's able to shift your perspective, and it's a muscle. It's like we practice seeing things from a negative lens most of our lives because that's just how, society, at least, how, majority, not a lot of people, not, I say majority of society, we practice seeing things through a negative lens, and it's easy to fall in those patterns. But to practice gratitude, you're engaging a different muscle in your brain that allows you to see everything from a stance or a new belief that everything is always happening from a highest and greatest good. So then that challenges you to see, okay, how is this serving me? What can I learn from this situation? It's easy to accept the good, but when the bad happens, it's easier for us to fall in those pitfalls. But if we connect to a new belief that everything is always happening from our highest and greatest good, then from there it kind of shifts our perspective into a greater state of gratitude and being grateful for, okay, how can this serve me and guide me into my long-term goal or my intention, right? And at the same time, it also challenges you for the third point, which is letting go of the old ways of perspective and perception, the old ways of how you saw yourself, your beliefs, maybe some of your values that no longer correspond with your new goal. Like for me, I had a value or a belief that I wasn't worthy. So I had to prove my worth. I had to buy my worth. I had to, buy somebody else's affection, right? And when it wasn't reciprocated, that just confirmed back to me my own lack of worthiness. So it's like I have to affirm that I am worthy just by existing. I am worthy just by being me. So
Yeah.
it's like those small things that are subtle that we don't know is going on in the background that we have to be true to ourselves and allow that to come and surface so we can deal with it.
That is, well, that is magnificent. I gotta come up with some new words because I'm told that I use awesome too much. So I need to ask. Chris here in the comments says, how do I let go of my expectations?
You letting go of your expectations by, see, like with expectations, it's like we are, what are we expecting? And who is expecting it? And I say that in a sense of we need, like, there's expectations that serve us and expectations that we want to have or we want to project, to make us feel, safe and secure, to make us feel loved. Like it's a contract. It's a way of cultivating relationships and keeping things grounded. But at the same time, going back to the first point, when you want to change, you set the intention and you have to change your expectations. So it's not really letting go of expectations, it's just reframing your expectations. What are you expecting and who are you expecting it for? It's for me, it was like, well, my only expectation that I have is that at the end of the day, again, everything I expect that everything is going to work out for me, right?
Yeah.
And everything else, I kind of practice letting go of the judgments, because judgments tie into expectations. When you place judgments on somebody, when they don't reciprocate your expectations or when they don't live up to your expectations, it kind of, for me, it kind of reflected back on me on how is this affecting me and why am I feeling some type of way about them not living up to their expectations. Again, it comes back to you trying to prove. For me, it was proving my worth, trying to buy somebody's love through doing things for them, expecting them to do things back for me. And when they didn't, it was like, well, that means that either you don't like me or you're not approving of me. But if I learn to practice self-love, I can only expect that people will people will respond at the level of awareness and love that they have inside of them, and that differs for every person. But if I can control how my own level of awareness and self-love inside of me, I won't need to have or need to be dependent on that person's level of approval.
That is a phenomenal answer, and I thank you for that. And I believe you answered Chris's question here because he gave you a bunch of hundreds and clapped at you. So I wanted to say thank you for that. So let's say if somebody out there wants to take this advice, wants to listen to you, and wants to put something that you said tonight into practice, what is one piece of advice that you would give them about adopting these practices?
I would say, because it's basically centered around your body and your mind. And one thing that's the easiest thing for people to adopt is the body aspect. So I would say it's easy to either adopt a healthy lifestyle, because it's and health is, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. But right now, we can deal with the body mind connection, which is eating and learning how to eat healthier. And that's different for each person, but setting that change, right? Honoring your body and moving your body, because that basically allows tension to be released from your body and from your mind. It's like this. I have an analogy. It's like your body and your organs are employees, right? And your whole body itself is a factory. Your mind being the boss, your organs being the employees, and then you have like your muscles and your tissues and your blood being like the structures and the resources that's being created. For a long time, if we ignore the grievances of our employees, the boss itself ends up having to do more work. The boss ends up either, having to have the factory be shut down, or if the employees go on strike, the building itself naturally over time deteriorates and the resources kind of just dry up. So if we continue to keep on ignoring the grievances of our organs and the body itself, it's just really it tires out the mind.
Yeah.
And then that leads to other symptoms in our lives that may be hard for us to manage. So by coming back to the body and honoring the body, by giving the body what it needs, keeping the body hydrated, um, moving the body, and just loving the body in itself, loving the organs, and doing what they want. Like that in itself is so profound and so deep, and it basically gives you the space for you to mentally rearrange some things, and it gives you the space for you to um, stay on your path long term.
Wow. Oh, wow. Excuse me. But it's about that time, so I have to ask, because Chris here in the comments asks if you have any handles or any contact information that you would like to give out.
Yeah, you can add my Facebook at James Tré Griffin. You can add me on Instagram at lovelargernow.com. no, not .com. Let's love larger now. And yeah, those are my 2 social media handles. You can find me at.
That is great. I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy evening to be here with me and my guests on my humble little show, Make Every Second Count Live. But I need everybody out there, including you, James, to do me a favor this week, next week, and for the rest of your life. I need you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds are going to run out on your one life. Hey guys, I'll see you back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, thank you so much, James. And
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to point out that Chris said he is impressed and he said thank you as well.
Thank you, Chris.
All
Thank you
right.
as
Well,
well.
you have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Peace.